Hello, welcome to Flooring Models. Here we are on Tool Tuesday, the 12th of February 2019. First off though, I've been really busy today. We've done lots of things with sanders and washes and stuff like that, so we're getting stock levels all up. But the big thing for me was actually getting on with weathering this lump. Now, this is one of those things, I don't know what guys you can see and all the rest of it. The one thing I think, you always think of the clay wash as being literally just a wash for filling panel lines. It is far more than that. And when you use it onto metals, it really pops and comes to life. Now, I'm not sure what the camera can see above. What I'm going to do is just slowly maneuver it around in a vain hope that maybe you'll be able to see some of what I'm trying to achieve under here. Okay. But what it actually does, it's given the entire model a polish. Now, technically, it's a metal finish. It's not true metal, so it's not going to polish it. But what it does is the pigment is so fine with the clay, it gets in amongst the metal features. So actually what it does is give you a very nice, I would say like almost a hue to the actual the metal finish, which makes it have that sort of browny, old look to it, and that's really what I'm trying to do. And I'm moving this quite slowly in the vain hope you'll be able to see it. But now we've gone along, we've finished off doing all this riveting on the body. It's broken up the body beautifully. We can see all the different textures and everything that has gone into this one. And it's this thing about, I really hope you'll be able to pick it up on the camera as I'm sort of showing this round. And it is this thing, when you catch it on the sort of side angles, it really looks like it's going very, very well and stuff like that. And I think by the time we actually get this thing in and we come along and we physically get the props on and things like that, it'll look amazing. The gear down's going to look awful. It doesn't look nice with the gear down, but I think it's going to look pretty much as we're expecting it to be. But I'm very, very happy the way this has come out. And what I'm really happy with is the riveting detail, because again, you're always into that mindset that small, tiny riveting details aren't going to show. So what's the point? This shows it perfectly. What else is the point? Because the riveting is all still there. And as you move it around, as you change the angles, as you look across it, it comes into view. And what that does is do this thing we've spoken about before, and it gives this three-dimensional appearance to your model. So instead of it just being brown, light, dark, okay, so now it gives it brown, light, dark, shadow, shading effects, different reflectivity of the paintwork, and it just makes it really, really come to life. Okay, and that is the nice thing with it. And the thing with metals, it works even better because you've got this reflectivity. I've got reflections, obviously the big studio lights here, and as I maneuver it around very slowly as far as I'm looking at it, I can see each panel almost has its own color. And that's the nice thing about it. So it breaks it up a lot. Now, we've still got loads and loads of weathering to go on with this one, which is hopefully I'm going to get done tomorrow, because under here, as you might imagine, there's a lot going to be going on. So underneath here, we're going to have big, huge smoke trails coming off. A lot of the reason why I think modelers put this as black in these areas is that they think that it's not. It's oil and crap out of these engines. Being Russian, they're not exactly the most environmentally friendly. So anyway, we're going to be recreating that, and then once those are in, we're going to come in then with actually neat oils to pick out some very, very sharp detail areas, and then we can go along with the things of actually using neat oils and blending as well to make it more subtle areas and stuff like that, and then it'll roughly be done. Then we can just finish off the props, which is quite a lot of painting on those because they have a lot of de-icing areas, stuff like that, and then we can go amongst the thing of actually getting it mounted up and ready to go. We've still got to put the windows in and things like that, so I'm hoping, well, to be honest, I'm not that worried, because if it's not very nice underneath the windows, we'll just paint them black because there's not a lot to see in there. But I'm hoping it's somewhat okay still down in there. But I'm just hoping the camera is going to do this thing justice, that you can actually see some of these different hues and that, because it is still all metallizers on this. Apart from the bit on the tail, this is all metals. So we've used quite dull metals, not anything shiny, nothing too bright. So this will be one of those ones that I'm hoping obviously guys can vindicate me somewhat. Come and have a look at it, because it will be coming up with me obviously up to PM Store for our special day on Saturday and Sunday. So come along and tell me what you think of it, because I'm really, really happy of how she's come out. And I'm glad I've now gone for the more classic look, shall we say, the more metal look. Obviously, again, thank you to Chris, who sent me some beautiful pictures of one of these which he took himself when he was over in Russia a couple of years ago. And as he was saying, you know, they're grey, and it looks like the ones he's got, 2 of them there, they look grey to me. It looks like they've been painted grey, but obviously the classical ones were more in the metal colour still and stuff like that, so that's what we've elected to do with this one. But generally very, very nice indeed. It's been a lot of fun with this particular kit. And also what's really nice with it, it's not a nice kit. It's a kit, it takes a little bit of work. So actually the more I'm putting into this, the more I'm getting back from the bill, which is quite nice. And don't get me wrong, it's looking at me and winking at me is the Tamiya F14 Tomcat, sort of saying, but Dad, you said. It's still a fantastic kit, but actually I get more out of modelling something like this and working on this type of model than I do on a shake and bake. You know, and that's maybe what I might be doing a lot more of. I'm sort of finding my way. I'm liking doing these old things and working with these types of models, especially because they're giving me more of a sense of achievement, more challenges, if you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So I actually really enjoyed doing this one. Is it perfect? No. Is it hell? There's scratch marks on it. You can see where my scribing's gone wrong and all those different things. But you know what? I've left them in there to show you what you can do with this. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, it's got errors on it. Yes, I should have done that better. But in some ways, this is all about, you can take pretty much a boring, gnarly old kit and actually make something nice out of it. So that's why I've left them all in there. Anyway, that's enough of that one. Hopefully the next part of that will be up with you on Thursday, and then on Friday next week I'll get the editing finished with it and everything else. But again, if you do want to see it, it will be up at the PM store for our grand opening on Saturday and Sunday. All right. But anyway, it is Tuesday. It is Tool Tuesday. We spoke about this little guy last week, and I gave you a sneaky little look in the box and everything else like that. So now let's have a little bit more in-depth look at it. Hello, welcome to Tool Tuesday. Today we're looking at the Display basically hold and fold, or the photo etch bender. Now, to be honest, there's loads of them around, and over the years I've pretty much had most of them, I think. One of the good ones I like at the moment, to be honest, is this one made by Master Tool. It's relatively cheap, as you can see, very well used and worn. I've been using this one now for probably the last maybe 5-6 years. And they do a smaller version, and they do the mini one as well. This is the little mini one. Okay, and to be honest, it holds me well. It is made of metal, does the thing. It's the one made by Trumpeter. Recently though, Display, and let's face it, I am a bit of a fanboy. I've got their cutters, I've got their circle tool things, I've pretty much got all their stuff. But anyway, I managed to get hold of one of these, okay? So this is the Display photo etch bender. Now, you might have seen this last week when we were looking at their circle cutter. I did a quick unboxing then, but this time we can have a proper look at it and have a go using it in anger. So as you can imagine, the boxes, their usual, pretty much it's like solid wood. Obviously it's heavy duty cardboard down in there as well, so usual thing. It is a joy to unbox this. And then down in here we've got the top part, and it says you can have a dual surface on this. So this is like an anodized, or it's like been sandblasted top aluminium one to it, or as we've seen down below here, we can see you get a chrome one. So again, beautifully packaged as always with most of their stuff. The thing is, you get some little feet, which we'll stick on in a moment, some Allen keys for changing the bed. Silica, don't eat it kids, it's bad for you. Okay, and then you get this. Okay, so actually what you have, you can see all the cameras above. Look, how many cameras do we use here? There we go. So anyway, there we go. It is beautifully done. I'm assuming this is machine tooled. It looks fantastic. And this is the thing with all of the products, all of the product lines they do, they are absolutely quality items. A lot of times, we spoke about it before, you think of Chinese, you think Chinese knockoff, poor quality material, stuff like that. That's old China. New China now produces some of the highest quality stuff out there, and this is definitely one of them. Display really do make the effort going into it. This thing is very, very hefty, so it's not going to be sliding around on your mat, but what you should do is probably pop the feet on. So actually, we can do that now. So down in here, we'll just hack our way in. So we get our little feet. Now, feet are optional. These, hoping they are rubber, which they are. So these are going to stick on the bottom, just like this. It's quite important to use these because otherwise it will slide all over the place. So we're just going to pop these in here. Have one there. And these are rubber. So it's going to grip and not slide around. So now when it's on here, this is solid. That isn't going anywhere at all, which is what we want, okay? Further down in the box, we get a cleaning cloth, which is pretty much standard with all their products. We also get 2 benders. Now, when I had a quick look at this last week, it was my only thing. I'm a little bit, it doesn't feel the best, if we're honest, and usually I use, as you can see, it's down here ready to go, a razor blade, single blade razor blade. I don't know how long that would work or last, but you never know. So anyway, you get 2 of those as well. And it's transparent. Why it needs to be transparent, I'm not too sure. But there we go. And that's really it in the box. But again, beautifully done and packaged. So the idea is you can unscrew these and you put your photo etch under, which we'll do in a moment. But also you can change the bed. So we take these 2 off. We've got 2 little rubber washers, which have popped out underneath here. It's spring loaded, so it then moves it off of what it is down below. So you get your 2 springs. This is, and I have to say, beautifully done. You can see the machine markings in this. It is really nice. Multiple teeth for obviously making multiple edges on this one. It's also beveled on these as well, so you've actually got steps in height, and then round on here you've got for doing basically curves and stuff like that. You can bend these around these shapes as well on this side, all right? So not only have you got this one for bending up, this one you've got for folding down onto, all right? So it is like a dual way of using it, all right? This is it. Then obviously down here you've got 2 locating pins and you've got this. So normally I won't do it because I can't be bothered, but you can actually undo the keys, and obviously that's what these are for. You've got your Allen keys in here for actually whipping these off. Take the bed off and then you can replace down on top. But I'm wondering if you could just go straight down onto it anyway, if there's enough clearance to be able to do it. And this is where he's trying to be clever. Okay, is it that side? I can't remember which one it goes on now. Was it the tall one? I think it's the tall one. There we go. And then that way you can just pop these on, little rubber protectors. These are nice. These are good quality, machined as well. And there we go. So you can save yourself a little bit of time and use the flat one as well. Why you need 2, not sure. Let's face it, the one underneath is going to get scratched up in no time at all. But this one will save it. But there we go. That is literally what you have. All right, so size wise it is the usual. So on my old centimeter chart thing down in here, it is just under 18 centimeters across here, so you can do it just like that. It's a tiny bit bigger than my master one, as you can see down in here. All right, so usual thing, just spoke about it before. If you wanted to, you can use the whole flat, or you can flip this round just like this and then pop this little guy on here, and then this one on here, and you can use it for one-piece folding as well. Now, to be honest with you, and as you can see on my one, that's the way I do mine as standard. I tend to have it this way round, because if I'm doing small stuff, I can do it under here. And also on this side, you can put your finger under it and bend it up, you see. So you don't need a hold and fold, and normally, you know, for actually putting blades under it. But that is literally how it works. Really very, very nice indeed. Quick look around on it. So now we've got our little rubber feet on there and everything. So anyway, let's give it a bit of a test. Let's grab some old photo etch. I'm hoping for some bigger parts. So let's grab some really thick stuff and some thin stuff. So we have got some very, very thick stuff down in here, probably not going to be able to do. So usual thing, let's grab the box out at the front here. Okay. So join in at home and guess where the photo etch is from. Okay, so we just nip this out. Now I know this isn't how I normally take it out. I normally have it down flat and so forth and so on. I know I'm an animal at these things, but I'm not that bad when it comes to photo etch, honest. Okay. So this is your little area here. So what you can do, all right, is literally you can pop these in, and there's a 3-way one in here, if you can see it. So you can actually then just pop this under here, it slides under, and then we can go down and we can say, right, okay, first fold in there, then you take your little tool, which basically just gets under it, and then we can fold it up a little bit, okay, and then we can just go into the next one. I'm just making a curve here, if you're wondering what I'm up to. Okay, you go like that, and then you can place that one up and lift it up a little bit, That's just made a little curve. I assume that's what that is a curved edge on it for the lip of the box. All right, and then you can go forth and so on and so on. All right, what I tend to do is you can flip these things around, and only because I'm lazy and a cheat, you can then just pop these in on here, and then you can literally hold it down, fold up, and then you can just come down in, and you can pop in from the sides with a razor blade, and you can just literally hold up. It's only because I'm really lazy. Okay, you can do it literally just like this. Okay, and you can pick out the various sizes you want and just place that down in there. And there we go, we made our little tin very quickly. And let's face it, it worked an absolute treat. Perfect angles. And it came in there just like that. But if, I don't know, you know, I'm still teaching you all sec eggs, but if you do it this way around, you don't have to get in there and all. You can just put your finger on it and bend it over, which is absolutely great. Okay, so you have that type of thing. And then if we just pick up for a more of a flatty type one, that's just grabbing something down in here. These door areas, these will do. Let's use these racks. Okay, and then so again on these you can say, right, okay, we'll turn it round. We'll do the full edges first. So place it where you want, push it down and then screw it. Okay, and then come into these. These, I don't know if I get it. I prefer a single edge blade, literally like this. It seems to slide under there a lot nicer. And then you can just come up literally just like that. Okay, and then we can go for this side. So again, we can just place in, drop down, screw down, blade goes underneath and then up. Okay, and then over on these guys we can cheat again. So you can pick out the smallest tooth you want to do the job. So we got these little folds up on the end here. So that's the way you can come in and say, well, he doesn't look too bad. He's quite close to the one we could sort of need. So we'll just place that down in there. Okay, and then that way we could fold on that one. Okay. And then these little guys, fold on that one. Try that one again. Just down in there. I'm going to push it downwards. Okay. And again, very nicely done. No problems at all with that. So again, I think it is an absolute gem. Really nice for these different size ones. So again, if you're making up a box and various things, you can get in there and get around with it. These, yeah, not so. Not convinced on these things. Again, lovely engineered the way they're bolted in and all the rest of it. But to be honest with you, single-sided blades, far better. Easier to get in and go through the motions. And again, I'm not too sure about the shiny side because let's face it, if you're like me, you probably love nice things and to have a nice finish and stuff like that, but I'm just not overly convinced you need it to be perfect every time like that. I think I'll be quite happy with it to go through, and photo etch is so small that I don't think you need to worry about certainly unbolting this and putting the other bed in again, because this edge here is the one you don't want to move. The bottom you're not worried about. This one needs to be perfect so it can go in just like that. But again, really very nice. These details are very nice. They're very sharp. All the rest of it, we've got no problems with it whatsoever. Everything lines up. Everything's perfectly square. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't expect it to be. It is what it is. It's not cheap. These things aren't, all of their tools aren't cheap. I'm not going to, you know, lie about this, but at the end of the day, it's good quality stuff. You can feel in it as you're using it. It's those type of tools that are going to last forever. So, you know, and they are right here, I can't lie. Single edge nippers, still the best thing I think that's ever come out, especially when you put it into the realms of the very high end. God's Hands, I've got some there. These, in my opinion, are actually slightly better than the God's Hands ones, purely because the spring on it feels nicer in my hand. Now that's just purely academic about a spring being in it, because it makes no difference from the cutting. But the thing is, the cutting, I can find no difference between these and the God's Hand ones. They work exactly the same. It's just this one, the spring in there, just it suits mine a little bit better. Thing is though, it's 20-30 quid cheaper. That's the difference. But again, these are absolutely a must. This is the type of tool that's going to last you forever. But I'll be honest with you, at the end of the day, if you're like me, I tend to use hand pliers and various things like that for bending photo etch. I'm not one of these that does complex boxes and stuff like that, and antenna farms and all these things where you could do with one of these. So in some ways it's a little bit overkill. All having the entire toothed area on this, it's very nice, don't get me wrong, but to be honest with you, that's probably all I would use anyway. And the difference is this has got nice big gaps in between each one. So if I put something in, I can come from the side and fold up to make 3 or 4 bends in one, no problem at all. With these, because they're very close together, I can't get in there to be able to lift them up and do the fold around on something like this. So in some ways it's a little bit academic having all of these in here, but there's nothing to say in the future I won't go through and I wouldn't use them and things like that. But there we go, that is the Display. I'll say Display these days and not Dispain, because I like Dispain, but apparently they're called Display, so I'm changing it. With these. Available from HM Hobbies in the UK, or if you're in the Netherlands or Europe, obviously Breveco are the European distributor for all the Display stuff, so you can get it from those guys. Again, it's one of those tools, it's expensive, but boy is it worth it. Do you know what? The more I look at their tools, the more I love them. And it's something about the red and the black and everything else. This shiny thing I don't like at all, because to be honest, we've got so many studio lights in here, it catches me every now and again. I get a blinded reflectivity from it and all the rest of it. So I will be just bolting down that flat looking plate on top and not messing around with this. As I said before, if I'm honest with you, and I'll be interested in get feedback from you guys, is how long your acrylic one lasts. I've got a feeling mine will break within a couple of uses. So I probably was sticking with using a blade. And to be honest, again, when I was using it, I couldn't get it underneath. So I was ending up just using a blade, razor blade underneath there and bending up, and away you go with it. But it is a very, very nice piece of kit, as is all their stuff. And again, it does come at a price. No, they are not cheap, but you know that thing, buy once, buy right. That is definitely in one of those situations. But again, this is that thing. Are you going to use all of these? If you're not, you can go off and do something else. And to be honest, you might see on this little guy here, he's got loads of chips and chunks out of him, because I use the little one all the time for various things. But it has been a lot of fun. Again, big thanks to Merrick at HM Hobbies for sending me that one as a little bit of a freebie. Thank you very much, Merrick. But don't forget, you can also get them from Breveco in the Netherlands. They're the actual European distributor for all the Display stuff. So if you want to get one, you can get one from them as well. Anyway, that is about it from me today. Thank you very much for joining me. Obviously, we're going to be getting on with this guy tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm going to get a little bit more done to the F-35 as well. So that would be good to get these two pushed along and looking very, very good done for the weekend. And again, we're all getting ready, ramped up, and I'm taking loads of stock up with me on Friday and then driving up Saturday morning for the actual P&M opening on there. So if you haven't seen it, full details are on the forum as always. Come along and see us. We'd love to have you there. We've got some great deals for you. I'm going to be doing specials up there. And things like that as well. So come along and join us. Anyway, that's it from me. Happy modelling. Take care. Catch you all tomorrow.